Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Michelle here, and it is about 3:31 a.m. I am up. Not that I can't sleep, I'm actually quite well rested, but today's video is all about my experiences with religion and how it has impacted my mental health. The House of Yahweh was teaching people to grow their own food, to take supplements, and to live a well-rounded and holistically healthy life before it became trendy as it is now. So that is one of my most preferred things, besides the fact that they teach you to do your research and to learn the scriptures and the meaning. So growing up, my mom always used to send us five children out to church on Sunday morning. And we did not have a specific church that we belonged to. So we would just walk, and whatever church we wound up at is where we would worship on that Sunday. So I have had a lot of experiences with a lot of different denominations and religions, sects or cults, if you will. But I never quite found that place for me. I always had questions. I would read the Bible and I would have so many questions, and then I would go to church and no one would be willing or able to answer those questions for me. I would often hear things like, oh, those things are a mystery, or those are things that will come to you in time, or over time you will, by and by you will have that understanding. And those answers just didn't work for me. And so all the time that I was in the church and really seeking to be a righteous person, I really wanted to be a righteous and upstanding woman. And I just couldn't find my way. I couldn't find my place in the Christian church. And then I heard the name Yahweh, and it was like just something just ignited in my soul. It was the truth. It was immediately the truth for me, and I needed to know more, and I needed to know why. I had never heard the name. Of course, I had always felt and believed that God has a name. We all have names. Why wouldn't God have a name? And of course, I had heard the name Jehovah and Allah and other, characteristics that people use as names, or say that God has many names, but are truly characteristics. And of course, the word God is a title, it's not a name. So that was something that was very important to me. And all I can say is that it was just something that was down in my soul that needed an answer. And the only place that I can say that that came from is directly from Yahweh himself, because of course he created me. So therefore he wrote that on my soul and in my heart, that I needed to know his name, and I needed to be able to call on his name and have that relationship with him. And so when I found the House of Yahweh in Abilene, Texas, I was very excited in the beginning, because I was finally able to connect with people who really shared the same ideas and values as me, who believe that, we owe God a much higher responsibility than just those 10 commandments, and that we truly have been called to become as close to perfect, if not perfect, as Yahweh is. That is written that, we should strive to become perfect as he is perfect, because we have been created in his image, and he has given us a Messiah to let us know that it is possible to walk in perfection. So being at the House of Yahweh was very exciting, and the ideologies and the values that they were teaching as far as family. I was very, very excited. But then, of course, it came to where, as many other religions teach, that you have to come out from among your family and your friends who do not believe the same as you, which was something that I wasn't able to do. Keeping the Sabbath was something that was brand new and very important to me. Knowing the true Sabbath day, just a lot of things that at the house of Yahweh they strive or did strive at that time to be true to. And that's something that's important to me. If we hold the Bible as our holy book and our scripture that we are supposed to follow, why is it that so many denominations and so many religions choose to pick and choose and overlook certain things that they do not feel comfortable with, or that the world says we just don't want to follow that anymore? I just don't understand that. But I also didn't understand how people at the house of Yahweh would begin to do those same things by diminishing and taking away the rights of women and children. It is a place that advocates and practices polygamy, which for me was something that I was on the fence about because I didn't believe in it. I didn't want it for myself. But I did feel that, hey, it's something that goes on in the world all the time without being talked about. People participate in open relationships, and even once they get married, they know about their side pieces or girlfriends or boyfriends or extramarital affairs, and they continue their relationships. So the polygamy wasn't something that really bothered me. I was bothered by stories of young girls, young as Beta, 14 and 15, being chosen by elders to become their wives. Although I was approached by different men who showed an interest in me, when I let them know that I wasn't interested, I was no longer pursued or pressured. But I have heard that there is a grooming process that takes place in the house of Yahweh, where the longer you are a member, the more pressure is put on you, and the higher the expectation is for you to conform and do things that you may or may not be willing to do or be comfortable with. But over time, as I said, there were things that changed and things that really were not pleasing to my spirit, and let me know that it was no longer a place for me to be. So now my children and I do not have a place of worship, and it has impacted my mental health in a lot of ways. As I wrote about in my mental health blog on Facebook, being in the house of Yahweh taught me so many things, and not being able to be steadfast in those things, such as keeping the Sabbath and using the sacred and holy name, going to the feast, and not spending money on the Sabbath, and all of those things that are taught, and not being steadfast in those things really put me in a serious depression at one time, and at other times it made me question my relationship with my Creator. I've had many people say to me, well, if you would just believe in Jesus, then you would be okay. If you would just praise Jesus, you wouldn't have mental issues. You went crazy because you didn't believe in Jesus. Well, I'm here to let you know and to proclaim in the name of Yahweh that that is a lie. That is not the truth. And I rebuke that in the name of Yeshua Messiah. I am healthy. I am mentally fit, mentally strong, and mentally able to do all things by and through the power of Yahweh who created me. And through him, I move and breathe and have my being. And so that is my video for today, just to let you know that religion has impacted my mental health and many others. I can say that during our walk the other day for NAMI, Jonathan expressed to me that whenever I talk about Yahweh, it scares him because he knows that my times that I have been hospitalized in a psychiatric hospital have been some of the times that I have felt the closest to God and truly felt his presence in my life. And yet those were times that I have been diagnosed or labeled or considered not to be in my right mind. So not only does it scare my children, it also scares me. And it doesn't make me want to run back to the Christian church or to any other faith or belief. It just helps me to understand that there are things in the universe that I don't understand. But what I do know is that I love Yahweh with all my heart, with all my might, with all my soul, and with all my strength. I will continue to forever praise, worship, adore, and exalt his name. And I will continually hope that others will come into the knowledge of his name, his truth, and his glory. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and come back for my next video. See you later.